she jumped like she was going to get attacked by that robot just then.
That thing moves pretty fast.
It does.
It zips around. I don't blame people for getting a little nervous. Good thing is their drivers are good, but otherwise, if it was me running it, she'd probably have to jump real far.
Yeah. I like Larry's little hello logo he has down in the corners.
That is cool. He's an animated person.
Yeah.
His own artwork.
No, it's scared.
What are they doing?
Trying to show something. We're about to find out.
I heard Graham. Is that you, Graham?
Hard to tell.
What we're showing right now is just one of the rounds that was run up at Trenton High School. They let us video so we could use it as training for when we go to Texas B.E.S.T.
You just do it on that. There's only 6% left too. I'm gonna go turn it on in here so I can hear it.
You close my door.
Was that Charles? See how many we got here so far. 15 so far. So we're getting there. We're up to 17.
Yeah, let me know after this, David, if you want me to send on your results to Kevin Earls to post on his webpage, or if you want to, or whatever.
To who post?
For the CoCo B.E.S.T webpage, if we want to post to it.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We can, either way.
Let me look next here. That one.
sure. Just got to get me my white headphones. I'm trying to listen to. I'm trying to listen to the the CoCo B.E.S.T Awards. Do you mind?
When are you going to sit at our table and pay attention to the
Never pay
conversation?
attention to us.
No, don't
I'm
worry.
neglected.
I'll just get it. I just want to watch it.
Okay. He said he wouldn't watch it, guys.
Whatever. And you can take your plate and go out to your table
No.
up there and watch.
Like the music, Dave.
Georgie. It looks like they named their robot Georgie.
Sounds like a good name. Again, squeeze it and love it and name it George, just like Looney Tunes.
$6:59. Wait another minute, and then we'll just go ahead and get started so everybody can have their answers. All right.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so Zoom meeting, screen sharing, share my screen. We've reached the time for everybody. So, and now let's see, I need to do one more thing here. I need to start recording so that we'll have a record. Okay, I'm Dave Whitmire, the head judge for Collin County B.E.S.T, and Otis, our head referee and director, is
Hello, everyone.
YouTube. And I'm going to go ahead and cover the awards for the hub. I'll try and not take a long time doing it. Get you the important information. So first thing, I'll cover the challenge awards first. We'll go into some of them about the marketing presentations, engineering notebook and exhibits, some of the extra engineering workmanship awards and so forth. And we'll talk about the actual robot game, and then finally the best award. And we'll end up with who is advancing to the state competition that'll be taking place the first week of December. So first thing, we had the several skills challenges that B.E.S.T Robotics had set up to give the kids something to do, even if we couldn't build a robot. We were fortunate to be able to go ahead and build physical robots in our hub, about half the hubs in the state, and probably on that order nationwide, were not able to go ahead and build a robot because they had their schools had concerns about quarantines. So one of the things was a skills challenge, answering questions about B.E.S.T robotics, and Denison High School will get a plaque recognizing that they got the first in the category for the Best Mania Skills quiz. The next challenge we did was the Minecraft challenge, which you'll see here, some other hubs did a lot more of it. Here, Capital B.E.S.T, they did more because the person that set it all up, Greg Young, is the director at Capital B.E.S.T. And at Capital B.E.S.T, they are running the virtual game. They're not building a physical robot. So it was, in general, those teams that were doing virtual games tended to go ahead and be a lot more involved in this Minecraft challenge. And not so much other groups, but we had a few schools that participated, and Trenton High School got the top score for Collin County. So that's why these particular ones aren't the tops in the nation, just because we weren't doing either in Dallas B.E.S.T or Collin County B.E.S.T doing virtual robots. We're building the real thing. There's then there's the robot modeling challenge, which is about having a good CAD model, 2D or 3D CAD model. There's the engineering drawings challenge, which is not just the CAD model, but a complete CAD package documentation of your design. And these two were evaluated by Jennifer Bergman, who's the CAD instructor at Collin College, which is in Allen, has an Allen campus near the Allen S.T.E.M Center. Then videos are awarded through are submitted through the registry. We had a few of them, and we looked at those and made a decision. And then the website design challenge websites are also supposed to be submitted through the registry. And as we have for about the last 6 or 7 years, we looked at the websites and picked one. These are fairly subjective. So there's not a first, second, third on these. We're picking one that looks like it's a good representation. And we use this information, in fact, to advertise with our sponsors and support MathWorks and the companies that provide funding to us and sponsorship. And UIL uses this for marketing purposes as well. So we appreciate anybody that provided any information through the video or the website design challenge, because that helps us get funding. And when we awarded them, a 3D model from Dodge City was a good selection. We show the engineering drawings in the video and website challenge. I'm not showing everything in detail, but I did want to go ahead and pull out the engineering drawings at Gunter. This was the quote from Jennifer: "Gunter's engineering drawings meet industry standards," which is pretty strong. So it wasn't just that they had a model, but their whole documentation package had the right kind of dates, revision control, et cetera, that you would see in industry. So their engineers are in fact ready to go take a job right away in mechanical engineering, design, documentation. They have those skills already, whether they're seniors or juniors or freshmen. So Gunter did a really good job. There's some other examples. We went ahead and picked this one out, but there are very high standards across Collin County in our hub for drawing packages. The other thing we did was the video challenge. As we were coming into this meeting, I was going ahead and playing part of that video. It was pretty simple, just showing the design process and them doing test and debug and practice. And as I said, we'll take clips of this stuff out to make our own videos, and UIL will, to go ahead and take and report on the progress that UIL is making in STEM technology and robotics competitions for the state. Software and Design and Simulation Award. We're doing a plaque but there actually is a national award that even has a scholarship associated with it, or a stipend of like $1,000. And I would recommend whoever got this one write up their software and submit it for that award, because this was really a nice job. Allen High School, most of the teams go through and have a process, and they talk about some ideas of their code. But Allen, in particular, in their notebook, showed the evidence that they not just used regular code and understood the process, but they had a custom design package where they showed how they design and the modifications they did to their drive subsystem. There was good pros discussion of it. The discussion of how they were controlling their arm to make it move smoothly. And our engineers and mechanical engineers were really impressed with the work that was done by Allen High School. It was really top notch. And in fact, Mike Black and Dick Weber actually called, they're both engineering fellows at Raytheon, and they called back to Raytheon to go ahead and talk about the caliber of analysis that was done on these closed loop controls by Allen High School. So Charles, very nice job by you and your students. And then not only that there was a software design, but it was taken into the Simulink exam environment. We could see all that. So a nice write-up on software. It was really superlative. We give out Founders Award for Creative Design. Dick Weber, who worked for 40 years at Raytheon and Texas Instruments, about competitive advantage or enhanced functionality by unique or disruptive approach. He really liked the lever arm that you guys came up with and the hinging that you used. And this is a very typical thing, cutting down on the weight by drilling holes through. But you can see that this was another example of somebody that had a very nice documentation package, clear specifications and well-identified units and measurements on their design. Plus here's your standard 3-view drawing package, top, front, and side, and a 3D model embedded in the drawing as their top level documentation. So this was another nice example of that. On the Workmanship Award, the award goes to Trenton High School. And you can see it was quality workmanship. They took care as they wound things up. It's not only that it makes it look good in terms of visual impact, but keeping wires out of the way, making sure that the tread was that they put under their tires was wound. And so overall left a nice impression of the workmanship that we saw in their robot. And then elegant design. One of the things that Dick Weber specifically looks for is the architecture and the integration of the system. And a few of the things, the way that the rollers were done, some teams chose slides, and those are very simple. This one not only slid easily, but because it was a swivel arm and it wasn't just vertical, you can see this provided a tracking capability that kept it well balanced. It was easy to turn around. It didn't have many jam ups. And when they made the claw, you can see it's double hinged here across the mechanism with different lever arms in order to go ahead and get the sensors onto it. So there was a nice, clever design in that one. The engineering notebooks, the marketing pitch, and the exhibit and interview, Trenton was the top on the list. When you get to when you're judging these things and all the notebooks are really outstanding, there's only a fraction of a point that divides out the top notebooks. And as is usual, Allen and Trenton were at the top. You'll see there are certainly others up there with them. And then marketing presentation, Allen High School, and exhibit interview, Trenton High School. robot performance, what the final results were, and I will show you everybody's results in just a minute, but Trenton, Texoma Home Educators, Bells High School, and Melissa High School were first through fourth in the robot. So everybody can see their own numbers. Whoops. Let me take this thing out of the way. We had two teams that had to drop at the end, Legacy, because they had quarantine, but then we did multiple rounds. When we run the 6 rounds, then you drop the lowest score. So here's our sum, but this is with the lowest score of 420 being dropped by Trenton to get their 2860. And then there's an algorithm in the scoring software that we use for B.E.S.T Robotics that assigns points by category. They should be evenly divided, 4, 4, 4, 4. What you don't see is the 2 other teams that actually dropped just before the week started. And so our counting was divided based on 24, and they default to giving the extra one up here in the top bin. So you can see the order of finish based on after dropping a low score in the scoring. So the IGUS Top Gun Award goes to Trenton High School for a 700-point round, which was certainly superlative. You don't see that show up anyplace else on the entire array. So the B.E.S.T Award and the teams that are advancing to Texas B.E.S.T, before we actually announce them, I want to go ahead and recognize every year we recognize one of the teams that just had some struggles. It was challenging, but they kept at it. Their robot had to be repaired during rounds. I was told that, I didn't watch this one myself, but I was told Sulphur Springs Middle School that their trailer wheel kept on breaking and falling off, and they had to repair it 2 or 3 times. But they stayed with it, and I think they were the only middle school that competed independently in our competition this time, and they did a real good job of bringing a robot in that it did score points, and they learned a lot of things out of it. So wanted to give kudos to Sulphur Springs Middle School. The Carl Tackle Judge's Choice Award goes to Bowles High School. What you see is Bowles did not get top 4 in the robot game. They came in 5th. And we give out 3 awards in the B.E.S.T Award, and Bowles came in 4th. And so my decision was to go ahead and give what is an honorable mention to Bowles for outstanding across the board in B.E.S.T and the performance of the robot. So they certainly learned everything we were trying to teach them in engineering in what they've done here. The B.E.S.T Award 3rd place goes to Allen High School. And again, you saw that they were second in, you saw they were first in one of the categories, and they were second in I believe at least one of the other categories. Texoma Home Educators gets 2nd place. And Trenton High School gets 1st place overall with their Remedy robot. So we looked at how everybody's going to advance, and because we actually are one of the larger hubs that managed to go ahead and pull everything together, we out of Houston, because they're having their issues with COVID, there were 2 hubs down there, just like we have Dallas B.E.S.T and Cowtown and CoCo up here. And all of our hubs are anywhere from 30 to 40 teams on a regular year. Down in Houston, they ended up with their 2 hubs together only fielded 8 teams, and we fielded 18 that actually participated with real hardware. So we ended up with a larger than usual allocation. So Bowles, Allen, Bells, and Trenton all are qualified under the UIL guidelines. Allen for the UIL large schools, and Bowles, Bells, and Trenton for UIL smaller schools. And then after we take care of the UIL, these are the ones that are the Texas UIL competition formally. And then the rest of it is our competition we hold at the same time for B.E.S.T, which includes non-UIL schools, parochial schools, private schools, home schools. And in that one, Texas Home Educators, Olney, and Melissa are the schools that are advancing. So we have 7 teams that are advancing. This word unapproved over here, ignore that. That only has to do with whether or not you're a UIL school. That's why that shows up like that. So these are the 7 teams we are advancing. That'll be the first week of December, November 30th through December 5th, something like that, I think, is when all of these